So if you saw yesterday's video about me wanting to go back to my sort of Jimi Hendrix roots, you probably heard me mention one of my favourite ever tracks by Jimi. That's Red House. Now, I probably listened to this track, several hundred times in my life, but not for at least, well, it's been 20 years since I last tried to learn it, and to be honest, I couldn't remember anything about it. So I set myself a task this evening. It's about 7:15. About an hour ago, I sat down with my phone and Spotify and also the tabs from Premium Tabs or whatever it's called. And I thought, let me see what I can learn in an hour. And I'm just going to post it up here. I'm going to tell you what gear I've used. And what we're going to do is every few hours worth of practice, I'm going to post another little 5-minute video like this. I'm going to try a different pedal, different amp, and hopefully get it right. Now, this is the intro. I don't know how long the intro is. What's this, 30 seconds or less? When in that hour of practice, I broke it down into like each little lick, and actually by themselves I managed to get them passable. But once I've tried to do it off the top of my head, probably half of the notes here, well, less, 25% of the notes aren't accurate, but like 70% of the timing's not accurate, because when you really start to listen to Red House, there's a really interesting tumbling feeling to the notes. Some cling on and hold, and then some pass by really quickly. That's going to take me, I would say, 10 hours just to get it starting to sound like that, but hopefully we're going to hear that. And I think this is part of the journey for all of us. Like, as I said yesterday, I don't want to just copy everything Jimi does, but I want to learn enough from him that when I want to sound like Jimi Hendrix, I can. And part of that is learning some of his most important bits. The intro to Red House and later bits in Red House are so important to who Jimi was as a blues player that I want to learn it note for note to the timing. So you can let me know in the comments how terrible this was or this is. Let me quickly show you what gear I've used. Okay, I think you have to use an SG for this. In future attempts at this, I will use my Flying V, I'll use a Les Paul, and I'm going to use a Strat. I'm going to use everything. We're just going to try it all for fun. But it should be tuned down to Hendrix tuning, E flat. And I've started on an SG because that's when I've seen him, the videos that I've seen of him playing it, it was on an SG. He probably has used a Flying V as well, I'm sure. But this guitar, I think it works really well for it. It's dynamic, and a lot of people who've tried my particular SG, this one, have told me that it's a pretty special SG. Okay, today's amp, I was already going into this as I was playing a bit earlier. So the 2 Rock Classic Reverb. Actually, there is quite a, look, he's surely going to have played this on a Marshall on stage because that's what he had. So we will obviously try a Marshall. But this is what I was playing with. And, it's going to sound nice coming through an amp like this, whether it's accurate or not. And pedals-wise, just one. Actually, this was given to me recently by Danish Pete, very kindly, when I met him, and it's actually the first time I've tried it, and I think it's a pretty cool sounding pedal. So you may hear this again in future. Focus Fuzz by Great Eastern FX. So look, hopefully later this week or whenever soon you'll see the next hour or two's worth of practice and whether that's done anything. But I'm hoping things like this just inspire you to pick up your guitar and knuckle down and learn some of these things so that you can, feel that satisfaction as well. So I feel pretty satisfied after 1 hour. I know it still doesn't sound like Jimi Hendrix's intro to Red House, but we will get there. Thanks for watching, guys. I just wanted to say I really appreciated the feedback to yesterday's video. This feels like a very personal journey, but actually it seems like it's something a lot of you relate to. I think Stevie Ray Vaughan gets talked about so much more these days on YouTube than Jimmy. But Jimi Hendrix deserves as much space, in my opinion, or more. And so, yeah, this is just the beginning of the journey. For the next month, a month and a half, I'm away a lot, maybe like half the time. So you're going to see some videos I recorded a while back that will have nothing to do with Jimi Hendrix. And there'll also be gaps where I can't post for a week or two at a time. But when I'm back in the middle of September properly, there'll be just constant content, I hope. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good evening. Cheers.